Good morning, boomers. So this week we're going to talk about SpaceX, the Starship that went up from Kennedy Space Center on Wednesday. How cool was that? Took 4 civilians into space, a first in space travel for sure. How did this happen and how can I get a ride is my question. On Wednesday, SpaceX mission Inspiration 4 launched from Kennedy Space Center. Its mission was the creation of Jared Isaacman, a 38-year-old founder and CEO of Shift4 Payments, a company which provides payment platforms for restaurants when he was 16 years of age. I wonder if he has any kids my daughter's age. He also owns Draken International, a private aerospace company which helps train pilots for the U.S. military. Sounds like my hero. He himself is an accomplished jet pilot who has flown over 100 air shows. He purchased the flight for an undisclosed amount and raffled off a seat through some 7,200 entries, which included donations to St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital. The seat was won actually by a friend of Chris Sembrowski, who will be the mission specialist, and the friend gave it to Chris when he won it. Apparently, the friend wasn't up for a ride in space and knew his buddy Chris would be down for it. Chris is an Air Force vet who served in Iraq. Another seat went to Haley Arsenault, 29-year-old child cancer survivor who is now a physician's assistant employed by St. Jude's. She would be the flight medical officer and the youngest person to fly in space. The fourth member is Dr. Sion Proctor, a 51-year-old black female who will be the pilot. She won an online entrepreneurial competition through Isaacman Company. The 4 have been training for 6 months for the ride on the Falcon 10. The primary goal of Inspiration 4 is to raise funds and awareness for St. Jude's. The Inspiration 4 team aims to raise $200 million for the research hospital. So far, just over $30 million has been donated to date, with another $100 million coming from Mr. Isaacman. SpaceX Crew Dragon capsule will fly to an orbital altitude of about 575 kilometers, where the crew will float for about 3 days before re-entering the atmosphere and splashing down on either the Gulf Coast or the Atlantic coast of Florida. 4 hours before liftoff, the astronauts suited up. Half an hour later, they walked out to their Tesla Model X rides and drove down to the launch pad. With 2.5 hours to go, they strapped into their seats and began checking that all systems were good to go. And then with just under 2 hours to launch, the hatch to the spacecraft was closed, and off they went. NASA helped fund part of this project, and it's basically a joint deal between Mr. Tesla, Elon Musk's company, and NASA. Let me see, what else do I need to tell you? The SpaceX developed its Crew Dragon spacecraft and fine-tuned its Falcon 9 rocket under NASA's Commercial Crew program, which provided the company with $3.1 billion to develop the system and launch 6 operational missions. Commercial Crew is a competitive program, as NASA also awarded Boeing a $4.8 billion contract to develop its Starliner spacecraft. But that competing capsule remains in development due to uncrewed flight tests that experienced significant challenges nearly 2 years ago. The Crew Dragon is the SpaceX capsule that will transport the passengers, the 4 this time, with its specific spacecraft being dubbed Resilience by prior NASA astronauts. It is an evolved version of the company's Cargo Dragon spacecraft, which has launched to the space station more than 20 times. Just as Cargo Dragon was the first privately developed spacecraft to bring supplies to the International Space Station, so Crew Dragon is the first privately developed spacecraft to transport people. It's the culmination of what they envisioned for the Commercial Crew program 10 years ago. The program is successful so far, and it will continue to bring private people on contract to space. Let me see. How much does it cost to ride in one of these deals? Trips aboard Virgin Galactic's VSS Unity will cost passengers $250,000 a ride. A seat on Blue Origin's New Shepard craft was auctioned off for $28 million back in June. The 4 passengers traveling to the ISS on the next SpaceX Crew Dragon will pay $55 million a person. So can you get to space for free? Well, you could have if you'd entered the competition to win tickets on this ride, but obviously it's too late now. Blue Origin and Virgin Galactic is scheduling trips probably for 2022, and there may be more competitions to get free rides. In an article on the moneytransfers.com website, an expert predicts that suborbital space travel like that of Blue Origin and Virgin Galactic could ultimately cost as little as $40,000. The most affordable way to pay to get to space would appear to be via a company called Space Perspective, which plans to launch a pressurized capsule propelled by a high-performance space balloon. A 6-hour flight costing $125,000 per person. Passengers in spaceship Neptune and Neptune 1 will lift off from Space Coast Seaport in Florida, probably in 2024. So that's it on the space ride for this week. Let's hope they all come back safely. I think they're due to come back on Saturday, on tomorrow, on Sunday. So keep an eye on things. That should be exciting. That's it for today from Boomerlife. See ya. Be safe.